here we are. Sorry about the bit of a delay. We got the round 15 2016 episode of Lachie's Weekly Footy Roundup. Now we're heading towards the halfway, towards the latter stages of the season. Taking a look at the ladder up, the predictions for round 15. Beforehand, we've got to go to the ladder after round 14, and beforehand, results of round 14. And as you'll know, in this week of round 15, it's also federal election time to see who is going to be the Prime Minister for the rest of the season. Will it be Malcolm Turnbull, or will it be Bill Shorten? Time will tell. Anyways, now we move on to Thursday night footy. Adelaide and North Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. North Melbourne are lucky, but the Crows kicked 12-28. They had 40 scoring shots to North Melbourne's 17. Oh man, if the Crows had kicked 28-12, well, they would have been closer to the record again from that game in 2006 against the Bombers. If they kicked straight, well, North Melbourne would have probably got humiliated by 100 points. Now let's look at the statistics. Well, what a game that was from Rory Sloane. 30 possessions, 13 tackles, 7 clearances. Matt Crouch, 32 disposals and 2 goals. Along with 7 tackles and 8 clearances. Jack Siebel, 24 disposals, 4 clearances and a goal for North. Todd Goldstein had 42 hitouts as he won the ruck battle against Sauce Jacobs by 10 hitouts. Now we look at the multiple goal kickers. Lindsay Thomas kicked 3 for the Kangaroos. Tex Walker with 2. And Richie Douglas, Matt Crouch and Eddie Betts also kicked 2, while the only other multiple goal kicker for North is Ben Brown. And look at that now. There is something a bit unusual. We'll take a look at the multiple behinds in this game. Eddie Betts kicked 4 behinds, Rory Atkins with 3, Tex, Sloane, Lynch, Jenkins and Cameron with 2 points. If half some of these points were converted to goals, well, it would have been a lot worse for North Melbourne. Well, the Kangaroos, well, they better bounce back next week against the bye. Collingwood versus Fremantle at the MCG. Oh dear. Not a day to be Fremantle. They lost by 48 points in crap weather at the MC in Melbourne. Adam Treloar, 33 disposals, 7 tackles and a goal. Brayden Maynard played pretty good in this game, 22 disposals, 12 marks, 6 tackles and a point from defence. Freo's best was Michael Walters with 28 disposals and 6 marks and a goal, while Brodie Grundy won the ruck battle against Zach Clark and Jack Hannaf by a combined 9 hitouts. Now for the multiple goal kickers. Jesse White with 2, Mason Cox with 2, Travis Cloak with 2, for Fremantle, Matthew Pavlich with 2 and Hayden Ballantyne with 2. Saturday afternoon, Richmond and Brisbane at the MCG. Look at that, it's not very good for the Lions. They lost by 42 points. And they were losing by like nearly 60 at one stage. It's a very long season for the Lions. Dustin Martin had a great one, 35 disposals and 2 points. He's out there in battle with Paddy Dangerfield for the Brownlow medal. Jack Riewoldt, 21 disposals, 10 marks, 4 goals. If he kicked straight, he would have got 7. As he did kick 3 behinds. Anthony Miles with 25 disposals, 5 tackles and a goal. Connor Menadue with 19 disposals, 6 tackles, 7 marks and 2 goals. Brisbane's best on ground was Stephen Martin with 23 disposals, 21 headouts and a goal. How did he fare in the ruck battle? He lost by 6 headouts to Sean Hampson. Multiple goal kickers, Jack Rewalt with 4, Eric Hipwood 3, Nick Floston 2, Lewis Taylor with 2, Connor Menadue 2, same with Sam Lloyd and Shane Edwards. Next game, Saturday twilights, GWS and Carlton at Giants Stadium. Or should I say Spotless Stadium? Well, that's Carlton out of the race to sign Lachlan Brown from the Adelaide Crows. Bryce Gibbs with 29 disposals, 9 tackles, 10 clearances, and well, no impact on the score sheet. Best on ground for the Giants is Stevie J. 22 disposals, 6 marks and 4 goals. Still up to his old tricks. Anyways, back to the other multiple goal kickers. Jeremy Cameron kicked 3 for the Giants. Dylan Shield and Josh Kelly with 2 each. While Andrew Walker kicked 3. Well, this could be one of his last games. And Matty Wright with 2 goals. Now we're going to be taking a look and see who else from this year had retired. As there'll be more of that coming up. There'll be more of that coming afterwards. As I forgot to mention in the round 1 episode of the podcast, West Coast Damien Kafka has hung up the boots due to an ongoing foot injury. Adelaide's Matty Edge hung up the boots due to no longer having a passion to play professionally. Hawthorn's Shem Tutupu, the son of his dad, played for the Auckland Warriors in rugby league. And that was Tony Tutupu. Speaking of rugby league, well, we'll be starting up a rugby league show soon on the podcast. If you're watching this video, Rugby League History, well, would you like to come on for one episode of my new Rugby League podcast show coming up during the season? Anyways, back to the retirements. Justin Clark hung up the boots for Brisbane due to ongoing concussion. And we got something. There's a new one in the retired club. Reece McKenzie from Richmond. He's hung up the boots due to well-being reasons, effective immediately. And anyways, now we go back to the results. St Kilda versus Geelong at Etihad Stadium. I called the Saints to win in an upset, and they did. Saints by 3 points. Nick Rebold had a great game, 26 disposals, 10 marks, 4 tackles, and no impact on the score sheet, even though he was playing more as a winger. Geelong's best player was Joel Selwood with 29 disposals and 7 tackles. Well, Paddy Dangerfield was pretty much tagged by Jaron Gary. Now for the multiple goal kickers. 3 goals to Darren Mitchington, and 2 to Nathan Wright, Mav Weller, Jack News for Saints. Geelong's multiple goal kickers are Lincoln McCarthy and Tom Hawkins. Before we look at the next game, this is around the time the Euros was happening. In Group A of the group stage, France won 2-1 against Romania. Switzerland won 1-0 against Albania. Romania and Switzerland drew 1-1 in the second game. France won 2-0 against Albania. They had to wait till the last minute. In the third game of the groups, for Group A, Albania won 1-0 against France, while Switzerland and France 0-0. Group B, Wales won 2-1 against Slovakia. England drew 1-1 with Russia. That's in game 1. Game 2, Slovakia 1-2-1 against Russia. England 1-2-1 against Wales. Group 3, Game 3, Wales won 3-0 against Russia. Slovakia drew 0-0 with England. Group C, Poland won 1-0 against Northern Ireland. Germany won 2-0 against Ukraine. In the second game, Northern Ireland won 2-0 against Ukraine, while Germany drew 0-0 with Poland. But in the third game, Poland won 1-0 against Ukraine. Northern Ireland lost 1-0 to Germany. But the teams Albania, Romania, Russia and Ukraine are all going home. Group D, Croatia won 1-0 against Turkey. Spain won 1-0 against Czech Republic in the first game. Second game, we saw Czech Republic draw 2-2 with Croatia. Spain won 3-0 against Turkey. Third game, Croatia won 2-1 against Spain, while Turkey won 2-0 against the Czechs. Meaning Turkey and Czech Republic are going home. Group E, Sweden are going home after they had a bit of a poor result. Ireland drew 1-1 with Sweden. Italy won 2-0 against Belgium. Italy won 1-0 against Sweden. Belgium won 3-0 against Ireland. Third game, Belgium won 1-0 against Sweden. Ireland won 1-0 against Italy. Group F, Austria are out. As they started off losing 2-0 against Hungary. Portugal drew 1-1 with Iceland. Iceland won 1-1, drew 1-1 against Hungary. Portugal drew 0-0 with Austria. Third game, Iceland won 2-1 against Austria, while Hungary and Portugal drew 3-3. Thanks to CR7, meaning Slovakia, Ireland, Portugal and Northern Ireland are all going through for the third place teams. Anyways, but back to the Hawthorn, get to the round of 16 later on. As first we're going to go Hawthorn Gold Coast at Aurora Stadium. Well, once again, Hawthorn won, this time by 26 points. Let's look at the best on grounds. Gary Ablett was BOG for the Suns with 40 disposals, 15 clearances and a goal. He's looking at that job return eventually. Sam Mitchell with 35 disposals and 8 clearances and 5 tackles. Multiple goal kickers for this game. James Sicily with 3 for Hawthorn and Billy Hartung with 2, while 3 to Tom Lynch for the Gold Coast. Anyways, back to the Euros. In this week, Switzerland drew 1-1, lost 5-4 on penalties to Poland. Wales won 1-0 against Northern Ireland. Portugal won 1-0 against Croatia thanks to Ricardo Quaresma. France won 2-1 against the Republic of Ireland. Germany won 3-0 against Slovakia. Belgium won 4-0 against Hungary. Well, Italy won 2-0 against Spain. And football's not coming home. Iceland. How did they go lose to Iceland? Just how? What was Roy Hodgson thinking as a manager? And I was hoping England would win the Euros. To end 50 years of hurt. Anyways, but enough of that, back to the ladder. Hawthorn at top of the table. Swans have moved down to second, while Geelong has gone down to third. GWS move up to fourth, while North Melbourne are down in fifth. Sixth, we got the Crows. The Dogs and West Coast are going down the ladder because they played against the bye. Port Adelaide and no change from 9th and 10th. Richmond move up to 11th. They could potentially make the final still. 12th we got the Saints, 13th we got Carlton. Collingwood 14th, Freo 15th, there's no change in the bottom four. Now we move on to the round 15 results. West Coast and Essendon at Subiaco Oval. West Coast by 156 points. Port Adelaide and Richmond at Adelaide Oval. I reckon the Power will get the job done at home by about 1 point. Gold Coast and St Kilda at Metricon Stadium. I've got a feeling I reckon the Saints will get it done up in the Goldie by about 2 points. Bulldogs and Swans at the SCG. I've got a feeling I reckon the Bulldogs will win it by 4 points, with Jason Johannesson kicking the winning goal. Carlton and Collingwood at the MCG. This is election night and also the debut for Jack Silvani. I reckon Collingwood will get the job done by 1 point. Melbourne and Adelaide at the MCG. I reckon the Crows will win it by 40 points, and we'll see if around 16